Okay, so you're gonna take out a blank sheet of paper and you're gonna turn it vertical. So not this way, this way. Once you have your paper like this, you're gonna watch me draw the boxes and then you'll draw yours, okay? If you start drawing when I draw, you may not have good spacing and it may not fit, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna draw a box like this. So you'll have 2 rectangles at the top, 3 vertical rectangles in the middle, and then 1 down at the bottom, okay? So on your paper, just like this, just like mine is, it's gonna look just like that, okay? So that's what I want you to draw on your paper.
Do that now.
Yeah, you'll do it on yours right now. You can use the entire sheet of paper too. Yep, just like that. Good. Good, good. Yeah, and my boxes aren't very straight, so it doesn't have to be perfectly straight lines. It's okay. Once you do that, this top box, you're gonna write title and topic. Okay? And then in the second rectangle, you're gonna write hook, and then catchy sentence, right? Because our hook is our catchy sentence. It's what catches the reader's attention. So that's gonna be your second box. And you don't have to write catchy sentence if you don't want to, you can just do hook, okay? And then on these 3 vertical rectangles, you're gonna write idea number 1, idea number 2,
Oh my gosh, not you again.
I'm kind of teaching my online kids at the same time right now.
Leave.
Yeah, why you
So y'all can come back and visit later.
At what
Ryan,
time?
what's your problem?
Just later.
Why are you filming them, Jaden?
Go after 6.
Okay.
So just
I'll see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. It's fine.
I got them on film.
I'm sure I can find a way to like
Yeah.
edit it, or maybe they'll just watch it. Okay, so you'll put idea 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then at the bottom, you're going to write conclusion.
Oh shit. Really?
Okay. This is what you should have so far. Good. 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 Very good. All right, so everybody's looks good so far. So for your title, I'm gonna break everything down for you, okay, so it makes sense. For your title, that is going to be the title of your personal narrative story. Sometimes you don't do the title first. Sometimes you have to write the entire story before you can even think of a title, okay? So if this is blank until the very end of your final draft, that is completely fine, okay? But for your topic, you're going to write personal narrative. And so, just so this kind of makes sense how it would look in your story, your hook and your catchy sentence would be your paragraph 1. Now I know you're thinking it's one sentence, how could it be paragraph 1? But your introduction paragraph has the hook in it, and it's normally 2 to 3 sentences. So you don't have to write this part, but if you want to, you can. But your hook, your catchy sentence, your intro paragraph is going to be 2 to 3 sentences. okay? Your idea number 1 is going to be paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 is idea 2. Paragraph 4 is idea 3. And then paragraph 5 is your conclusion. You don't have to write all of the paragraphs like I did. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to, okay? So, for idea 1, you would have the letter A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each of these boxes are going to look just like that, okay? So you're going to put the letter A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The letter A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what this is each idea, the A is your topic. It's the main idea of that idea. The numbers are your details. You have to have 3 to 5 details, okay? So you don't have to fill them all in, but you have to have at least 3. Question?
What does the A stand for?
So the A is just, have you ever done an outline? No. Okay, so the A, like when you do an outline, that's like your topic or your topic for that paragraph.
But you know,
So you would just put it here, and then your details go
we have
under.
to put the A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down.
Yes. You have to at least do 3. You don't have to do 5, but you have to have at least 3. Yes.
Two things. One, I might not have enough space to write like full sentences. So number 2.
You don't have to. That's good. Good question.
Is it okay if I just write like flight and I know what I'm talking about, like the flight of the plane or how I feel at that moment?
Yes. Good question. Did you hear what she said?
No.
Yes.
No.
You don't have to write complete sentences. This is an outline. It's not an actual rough draft. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't have to write an entire sentence. If you can write 2 words, just like you did in your little graph, that's fine too. And then your conclusion is also going to be 2 to 3 sentences. And that is what you leave the reader with. So, at the end of your story, the conclusion is the last thing that the reader reads, right? How many of you have ever seen a movie and at the end of the movie you're like, seriously, this is how it ended? I watched this entire movie and it was so good, and then the ending was terrible. It was so bad.
It's funny how only girls basically. What?
Right? So you don't want your story to be like that, okay? So
Can we leave them on
also,
a cliffhanger?
do what?
Can we leave them on a cliffhanger? No.
Depending on your story.
Like if it's just
So your catchy sentence, same question. How many of you have ever started a series or a movie and it starts off and it's super slow and it's super boring? Like you don't even want to watch it anymore. Right? So I watched The Umbrella Academy. When I started
Oh, I love
it,
that.
I was like, okay, this is so boring. But I like waited it out and I got to episode 2 and I was like, okay, this is really good. And then I was hooked. So your catchy sentence really needs to draw the readers in and make them want to read it. Okay? You don't have to write this part, but we learned about 4 ways to start our stories. Does anybody remember one?
Oh,
Yes.
dialogue.
Dialogue. Can somebody tell me what that is again?
Oh, I know. Wait, no. I know.
Isabella?
I was just going to do it like the second
Oh.
one.
John?
Quotes like
Okay.
words people talking.
So that's dialogue.
Yes.
Good. Yes, thank you. So dialogue is like somebody talking, there's quotation marks, somebody said something, right? Tell me number 2.
Action.
Action. My all-time favorite to start a story is action, or there's like 2 that are my favorite. But action is one I really like. It's one where you give details and it makes the reader feel like they're there going through that experience with you. Right? Kinsley?
Question or thought?
Question or thought? That is my second favorite to start with.
Oh, I have one. I thought the other one was your second favorite.
Which one?
The last one that we haven't said yet.
Like when I write personal stories, no. Trey?
Sound?
Down. Very
That's my
good. So whenever you start your hook, your catchy sentence, these are the 4 ways that you should be thinking about. Okay? Do you have a question? Banan?
Oh.
No?
I'm gonna put my hand up.
Oh. Okay. Just like the title, your hook and your conclusion does not always come first. When I personally write a story, I always do my 3 main ideas, and then later on, I come up with a catchy sentence. Because for me, I can't think of this right off the top of my head and absolutely love it, okay? So I always start here, and then I normally go here, and then I'll come back up here, and then I'll finish here. You can do whatever order you want, and you can always come back and change it, okay? It doesn't have to stay like that. So, yesterday, we had talked about 6 things that we drew, right? Mm-hmm. And you picked one. So I picked the one about the day I found out my dad had cancer, right? So I'm going to show you an example. If I were to put that in this chart right here, I would say my idea 1 is, I would just put symptoms, right? That's when I started to realize he was sick. That's when he started to realize he was sick. So when I put the details, I would say stomach pain. I would say nausea. And I would say
Headache?
do what?
Headache?
Okay, I can say headache. Right, so I know what this means, but to you, you're like, what? She has 3 things. That makes no sense. Okay? But that's what I would put for my idea 1. Do you have a question?
What kind of cancer did he have?
He had colon cancer.
Oh.
So, idea number 2, first, when I think back to that time, I think of the symptoms, and then the second thing I think about is the doctor's appointment. So, I remember the place, so I'll put Cleburne, because I remember the hospital, the place, everything like that. I can put doctor visit. I remember being in the doctor's office when he came in to tell us. And then I'm going to put emotions, how me and my entire family felt when we found out. Our thoughts, our feelings, everything. Okay? And then my idea 3 could be, it could go one of 2 ways. I could say how he handled it, or I could say, I guess I could say how he handled it. So, we have the symptoms, the doctor's appointment, and then I could even say life with cancer, right? So my 3 details, maybe I could say he did chemo. I can say he went, I think it was like once a month or something like that. He went to go do chemo. And then,
What's chemo?
It's basically you're hooked up to this machine, and it's this thing
They give you
that's
medicine.
fighting the cancer.
yeah, so my dad was really stubborn and he didn't want to sit in a hospital with chemo. So he would get this little, it was like a fanny pack, and it had the chemo in it, and it was hooked up to his port, which was right here. And he would work while he was getting chemo, because he refused not to work. Huh?
Talk about a multitask.
Yeah, he was all about it. So I could put here about chemo. The second one, I could say, I can put anger. He was like really angry when he had it, and when he didn't feel good, he was not himself. And then I could say, end. When I was 12, he was like towards the end of his chemo. He knew like what was coming. We knew what was coming, and we were trying to accept it. So that's what I would put for there. And I can go more into depth, but it's just bullet points, right? So this part is what you're going to do today. If you come up with a conclusion or a hook or a title, that's great. If not, that's okay. Yes.
There's two things you kind of left out.
With what?
This
Okay.
theme, which would be like the theme of the passage. You could say as a diary, you could have, if it was a diary, then it could have then drawings and stuff. And also, if it was split, sort of multiple stories that are put into one.
So we can only do one. And the theme, it's just a personal narrative. So it can be any type of personal narrative. It doesn't have to be a diary. It can be anything. So I'm trying to do the first one very broad for you, not limit you to what you can write about for your first essay. So this is what I have. This is what you're going to do. You're going to fill in the rest if you can. Okay?